I think aside from the little quick video I made, it's been almost 3-4 weeks since I really did a full video. So yeah, I pretty much killed the whole daily journal thing. This is one of the first days that I've really got my voice completely sort of back to normal as I cough. It was fucking terrible. I started off with what I thought was a cold, maybe the flu, something like that. No, I was, it was like super COVID. It was horrible. And I think I got, aspects of bronchitis that could have gone into pneumonia. It was just terrible. Still have a cough, that sort of thing. But enough of my health stuff. Aside from that, so I made a lot of different decisions, and I'm going to have to come back to a lot of these here. But this whole thing will probably now become like a weekly sort of thing, is what I'm thinking, just because of time frame, all this other stuff. I fell incredibly behind on a lot of stuff. There were some days I still don't have as much energy as I'd like to have. And there was finally a bunch of different things I got done. Today was the first time I managed to get one project that had just been on the back of my mind for a long time. It was an illustration that I did. It's very cool. It was with my friend Sarah, and she's going to be releasing it at some point in time. And when that happens, I'll put a link in that video whenever I cover what I did in there. And it was basically a really cool opportunity to work on similar subject matters and see how it was going to come out. So I'm really looking forward to that. Let me see here. Oh, well, the other massive thing that happened was, so this whole studio is in a basement. You can actually see a basement window here, and there had been a lot of rain, a lot of other stuff going on. Well, there was an overwhelmingly horrible thing that happened, which was the sewer pipe failed. In more ways than I can possibly imagine. I have mopped up more sewage in this basement, and the only good thing is, and I can show you with a clip here real quick, the flooring underneath this studio is about that high. I think I've spoken about this before, and I didn't even know about it existing, this kind of flooring for basements. I was just going to install the vinyl flooring I have directly onto the concrete, and then I was told about this. And it's basically it's a plastic bunch of little pokey ribby things that elevate it about half an inch or so off the floor. They're extremely strong, and they're injection molded. They're really great. And then they got plywood on top of them that kind of interlock together and snap and slide together. And that, unfortunately, I already had the 2x4s in. And so I had to put the flooring in around them. And the ideal circumstance, it would have been putting the flooring down and then installing the walls on top of it. Nonetheless, where the drain was located was directly outside the front door of the studio. And that's only about 4.5-5 feet away. And there were various times that I was thankfully able to have access to some really good things, an industrial mop and head, or a commercial one. And this spill stuff that I'd used at the stadium that I was able to build little dams and stuff for. But one night, so the way that it was working was the people that came out, they had to dig up pipes, do all this other stuff. And they've still got to come back out to put a resin lining in the pipe. What had happened was everything else was turned off. There was just so little water usage could happen. It was preferred not to. It was like going, having to go to Quick Trip or something to use the restroom, all this other stuff. It's really nuts. Well, long story short, the one thing I didn't unplug was the water treatment unit that I have in this house. And I hear it almost every single night that I'm working late. About 2-3 in the morning, I'll hear it dump its tank out. And it is connected and empties into the same area that my washing machine does. And I didn't even think about it because it was like a slow creep up. And one of my cats down here tried to leave the studio and started flipping out. She is terrified of water, Luna. And sure enough, I open the door, and it is like there's some extension of the wood the wood flooring that goes out that way, and water was lapping over it. So, you know, I think I filled that, you know, those big buckets you see custodians using. Probably, including that evening now, I think I'm up to, because I think it's a 6-gallon bucket. I have filled that thing, it's not an exaggeration to say 30 times over the last 3 weeks, just mop, bucket. And the amount, like, it got to the point, and this is one of the reasons why I often will say that art supplies and things like that can come in really handy. I have some really heavy duty respirator masks, and if I hadn't had that, the amount of fecal matter and sewage that came up was overwhelming. So locking the cats upstairs, I have had to clean up, shovel, dry out, mop, bleach, mop again, wash, all these things. And it's not been fun. So that happened on top of the fact of being sick, which was not great, on top of the fact that I was falling further and further behind on things. So nonetheless, I wanted just to put this quick video out real quick. See, I'm even doing double speak in my head right now. But I am feeling a lot better compared to where I was, because it was just fucking horrible. But yeah, so there's a lot more I want to add in there, but I'm trying not to have a coughing fit right now. It's crazy because I can talk, but I can't talk as long as I'd like to, just because it's like this little weird itchy thing in there. Aside from that, let me see what else is going on. A couple of other things I'm freaking out about. One of the things that I'm a little weirded out about is that during the downtime that I have been sick, I also hadn't been doing any TikToks or really posting anywhere else. And I think I spoke about this before, but I'm not going to be doing any shows this year. Maybe one later in October or something, but otherwise nothing. Just taking the time to recover from all this and figure out what my next steps are, or what I'm going to be doing for income in some other ways, and just trying to figure stuff out. In the meantime, I also ended up, my Etsy store got shut down, which was not good. And I just decided to kind of leave Etsy. So now you'll notice that the links below, which I'm slowly updating on all the videos, will be pointing toward my Gumroad store. And that's where all my artwork will be listed on there. It's essentially the same pricing that I had. It is exactly the same pricing, maybe 1 penny off than I had on Etsy. And I've tried to work with the shipping to, you know, since I'm setting it on there and it's not the weird stuff that was over there. All of my Printify stuff is gone as well too. So the shirts, the mugs, other things like that, gone. I will probably bring those back, but most of it was just, it was one of those things where I really had to do some deep soul searching with that. How much could I promote? What am I doing? And I've got a bunch of books and publications I'm trying to finish this year. Nonetheless, it's been really overwhelming. So I'm going to end this video here, and then I'll come back with some more with some more video content that's maybe a bit more, you know, direct on what some of the things are that I'm looking into. In the meantime, it does mean that these are going to become weekly. Or at least not, I know definitely not daily. I'm not going back to that, because I was just taking a lot of time between filming this and then video editing. It was eating up a lot of time. And right now, considering that I'm walking away from the world of graphic design, at least for the grand scheme of it, and really shooting for emphasizing what I do. I'd spoken about this before, that there are people that, which is really alarming, people that I've known for a long time that are like, oh, you do art. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing a very good job advertising. I'm not doing a very good job promoting. So there's some other things that I'm hoping to start filming and putting up, and we'll see how that goes. I know that, you know, it's really weird because now it's in a circumstance where, well, what sort of content can I be creating and how far can I push this? Because I need to be I need to really have a mindset of like, all right, well, yes, this can make good content, but also I need to be looking to see what other income, what other things I can put bids on, you know, that sort of stuff out there, community art, whatever, and see what sort of projects open up. At the exact same time, I am really anxious to get some of these publications up. And Gumroad now has the two, you can actually get it in 2 different places, I think. I have it listed on my website Ardor's the two issues for Ardor are listed on my website right now underneath the Ardor tab. But if you go to my Gumroad store, which the link is below, you can also find them on there. They're priced the exact same way, and they're PDFs. You can download them and read them and that sort of thing. I have more publications coming out that are going to show up there before I go to print with them, and I'll be heavily advertising those things. I've got some other really cool ideas too that I'd like to get implemented, but the this is no bullshit. The current way things are working, I've really got to reassess where I'm heading financially. Repairing a sewer is not cheap, and keeping the house running, doing all these other things is not the easiest thing. And I know that there's, between the fact that, you know, student loans are going to start coming due again for me, and I need to have things prepared for shows later in the year, and a lot of other financial responsibilities that I have piling up, it becomes something where I'm like, all right, you know, I'm walking away from some stuff, but there has to be opportunity elsewhere that I can find. And so that's what I'm really going to be looking into. And I'll be pushing a lot more of my stuff harder than I have before, because that's something I always wasn't very good at. So, and that needs to change big time. So nonetheless, thank you for those of you that have reached out and asked how I was doing. I'm doing fine. As fine as somebody coming off COVID can be, whose sewer backed up, whose Etsy store got closed. I'm doing okay. So it could be a lot worse. There's a lot of other things that are far, far worse. One of the things I thankfully have done is, and I'm saying it now because I said it before, I have been working on some Twitch graphics and getting that ready. And it's probably going to be a mix on Twitch is my goal, to have both drawing and video gameplay on there. But I'm trying to approach it in a way that I think would be really interesting and fairly unique. I'm going to try some things, and if it works, man, I'll be really happy. But it's probably going to take, I can't wait to get a lot of that stuff done, so I'm probably just going to have to jump in and do the best I can. It's probably going to start out with just some gameplay just to get the hours in on Twitch, see if I'm really comfortable, and then go from there, because I'm fully anticipating that the first few videos I do aren't going to have any viewers. I'm nobody on Twitch. Speaking of, and I might as well start building that one, as it looks like today in the news, there is a really good chance that a bill is being passed where TikTok may be going away. That is the one platform that I managed to do extremely well. Even when I was sick, I still managed to gain 60 more followers. So I'm at 2060, 2061, something like that. And it's been one of the most welcoming communities. It's been one that I really flourished on. So I'm a little scared of that. Now, there are some other ones that are very similar to it, but the reach and all that stuff, it's just not there. I imagine that, not unlike when there was the death of Vine, there will be people that will mitigate, you know, a change happening, you know, by dragging their followers or welcoming them over to another area, and we'll just end up jumping to a different platform. The good thing is that with every single video I've ever done for TikTok, I've downloaded the masters onto my phone, and continually have done that, and those will be uploaded eventually all as well onto YouTube. And I've been doing little groupings and clusters of those just for continuity's sake and things like that. So that's been pretty cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut up because I have more things I have to get taken care of, but it feels so good to be able to actually do a journal on here. I am really freaking happy for that. So until this next time, take care, guys. Thank you so much again for all of you that did reach out and just asked how I was doing and stuff. I freaking appreciate that more than you know. And yeah, otherwise everything is going fine here. But, you know, it's definitely something where, in all seriousness, I have to take a look at what I'm doing career-wise and really reassess what the hell I'm doing to promote myself better and do different things. And some of this too is brought about real quick just because I have a little bit of an anxiety attack over the fact that, like, Planet Comic-Con, I believe, is this weekend. And yeah, I think tomorrow is the first day, because I'm seeing people's posts already online and stuff like that about, like, hey, I got my booth set up. I wish everybody the best of luck. May Planet be just everything you need it to be, and may you make all the sales in the world. It is a show that I will never end up doing again. There's no way I can justify the costs or the prices for that. And I never made I never really made money at that show. No, so, and without going too far into that, it's one of those things where I'm not even going to be able to go to the show. Responsibly, I cannot go to the show. But for everyone doing it, man, I hope you guys kick ass and have an amazing time there. So with that, I will catch you guys in my next video journal.